Welcome to Quick Launcher's Guide on how to configure a SAML application using the admin console. Before starting, make sure that you have the SAML application metadata and the admin console credentials handy. As the first step, log into the admin console using your credentials and click on the Administration button. From here, you will now be able to view the single sign-on dashboard, which provides you with different reporting and analytics. Now head over to the top and hover over the App section. Here you will see three options. The App Store is the place where you can search for SAML applications and add them to your portal. My App section is where you can browse all the applications that you've added and configured. And Create New App is where you can add the SAML application which is not available in the App Store. Let's head over to the App Store and search for an application to configure. The App Store is where we have provided the most commonly used and predefined SAML applications. You can search for all kinds of SAML applications, be it LMS, SIS, email, and so on. You can even download our site of metadata to configure the application on your side by clicking on the XML document icon, which is to be used on your end of the application. Please note, only SAML configured applications can be found in the App Store. Let's look for Canvas by clicking on the search tool on the side. Once you find the application, click on the Add button to add it under My Apps list. You can also click on the Launch Configuration Guide, which will give you the steps to configure the specific application. Now let's head over to the My App section, under which you can see that Canvas has been added and is ready to be configured. Click on Configure Now. Begin the configuration by adding the application URL, which is required to redirect the end user to the application page from the dashboard through single sign-on. Changing the display order will change the display position on the application on the dashboard. The Active or Publish options helps you to continue working on the applications and by not making it visible to the end user till the time the configuration is complete and Yes is selected. Permissible groups is where you can add a group or groups to whom the application should be visible to. The groups which are not under permissible groups will not be able to see this application. And if you don't mention any groups here, then by default the application will be visible to all the groups. Next, under Claim Configuration, you can add claim URIs. Claim mapping is required when we need different Active Directory attributes for SAML login, like email or other attributes from the Active Directory. To add a claim URI, click on the Add Claim URI button and enter the claim name and the local claim from the list of local claims and select the subject Claim URI. We will certainly show you how to add additional claims later. Next comes the inbound authentication configuration, where you will need to use the application metadata. From the metadata, pick up the assertion consumer URL and enter it in the respective field. You can also add multiple assertion consumer URLs by clicking on the button provided. Under Issuer, pick up the entity ID from the metadata and enter it in the respective field. Next, enter the service provider name and the description if any. It can be any custom name and description. The checkboxes at the bottom are to be left unchecked. When finished, hit save and your application is ready to be used. You can now log into the portal and test the application. As a last step, let's see how we can add custom claims as well from the Active Directory. Head over to the top and under Settings, click on Claim Configuration. Once you're on the next page, click on Add Local Claim. Next, enter a display name and claim URL, which can be any custom format. We'll be mapping SAM account name as an example. Provide a description if required, and under Mapped Attribute, be sure to enter the exact attribute which is in the Active Directory. This whole workflow is also the same for creating a new SAML application. Just head over to the App section at the top, click on Create New App. By default, SAML will be selected and proceed with following the exact same steps for configuring the application. Copy the URL for the newly created application and continue by choosing the display order, groups, category for the same. On the left side, you can upload an image for the application, as well as description which is to be displayed to the users. Click on Save and Configure and proceed with filling the required details from the application metadata. Click on Save once finished, and now your newly created application is ready to be used.